Hi guys, how are you? I hope you all are doing good. Good evening, guys. Good evening. Am I audible and visible to all of you? Let's start the class. Okay. So guys, let's not delay. Let's start the class. So we have to complete it at anyhow by 7:30. Okay, let's start the class. I'll not take much time now. So I hope you know the rules and you are well aware because I'm getting a lot of messages from the people that they are not, aware of what's going on, right? They're not aware of exam because they have not seen even the first 5 minutes of the recording. People haven't seen even the 5 minutes, first 5 minutes of the recordings, yesterday's recordings, only first 5 minutes. If they'll check out, they'll get everything about the test, they'll get everything about the exam. I have messaged it in the morning, still people are blaming me that, sir, you did not tell us about the exam. Okay, anyways, I'll take this, I'll take all the blames, but I will not allow anyone to ask for the certificate if they are not in the class. In the last class, at least for the exam, if they're not there, I cannot help you. I am, waiving off all the attendances. I am fine with if you are going through the recordings, not attending the classes because of your schedules. That's okay. And I know you people are from medical writing group and regulatory affairs groups and other groups which are strictly having the classes only on weekends. But this is the additional course for you guys. This is the additional learning free of cost to all of you, right? These are completely the additional classes. Okay. So, and optional classes. That was completely up to you. If you want certificate, if you want knowledge, you can enjoy the classes. You can come to the classes, you can take up the classes, and that's okay. Okay. But still, if you're blaming me, then I don't mind. Okay. Then I'm not minding at all because every day I'm preparing the classes. I'm, learning the new topics for you. I'm, giving my most of the time to this. I'm again diving deep into these topics and preparing these for you all 6 days, right? So that's perfectly fine if you're blaming me for everything. I don't mind because I wanted to convey this knowledge to you. I wanted you to understand this topic, especially the product life cycle. And still, if you're not able to, come to the classes, and still if you are blaming me for not getting the certificate, then I really cannot help. Okay. Anyways, that's a message from my side, but let's start. So guys, exactly at 7:30, I'll be sharing the link of the exam in the group, and it is strictly in the group. Nobody of you, no one from your side should share it with anyone else in the group or anywhere, because I am taking the live attendance also. Okay. So that's a crazy thing. We are doing it for first time. Otherwise, we just share the link in the groups, and everyone, if they're coming to the classes, not coming to the classes, they just come and attend the classes. I mean, attend the exam and they pass it somehow or fail it, and then they ask for the certificate. But here are some strict criteria for all of you. Oh, for all of you, there are some strict criteria because the exams and the certificates should have the value, right? If I am preparing the classes, I'm giving you the value. If I am putting my efforts out of the box, then you also should respect it, right? So today we are going to talk on two topics before the exams. Okay. Before the exam, I want to talk on these two topics. I hope my slides are visible to all of you. So there are no questions. There are directly topics today. Okay. There are no questions because you will have 30 questions in the quiz. So I'm not asking you any question right now. I'm not going to ask you any question. Okay. So this is the sixth day, and definitely with no conflict of interest. And today we are talking about last class exam. Okay, last class and exam. So here, somebody has asked me in the group, how do we nomenclature, or how do we, give a name to any drug? Right? How do we give a name to any drug? As you know, there are two types of drug. One is generic drug, right? Generic drugs, and then branded drugs, right? Branded drugs. So there are different processes for naming the drugs. Okay, I will not tell you what exactly, the meetings and all, how many people are sitting in the meetings and all. There is a long process, but I'll tell you in specific manner, in a very brief manner, I'll tell you these things. Okay, so usually look at the generic name. Why I'm telling you about the generic name first? Because generic names are the common names worldwide. Okay, generic names are common name worldwide. Everyone around the globe, they just know any drug by one name, that is generic name. If I'm talking about, suppose, aspirin. Okay, aspirin is the generic name. So you must have heard of ecosprin. You must have heard of, aerosprin. You must have heard of many names. Okay, many names of ecosprin, right? Or disprin. You must have heard of many names. These are the brand names: ecosprin, aerosprin, disprins. These are the names. These are the names called brand names. But there is only one drug called name aspirin worldwide. Okay, this is the generic name. Suppose pantoprazole, right? Pantoprazole. You all have seen the pantoprazole, right? Pantoprazole is a PPI drug, proton pump inhibitor, used for gastritis, right? Used for gastritis. You must have heard of pantoprazole is the generic name, right? Pantoprazole is the generic name. You must have heard of pen, pen, pentop, pentocid, H2 check. Well, many names are there, right? Many names are there, many names. Okay, so these all the names are brand names, and this name is generic name. Okay, so let me tell you one more very simple thing here, guys, that there are actually not two type of names, there are three type of names. Okay, first is before preclinical, up to clinical trials. Okay, like suppose up to clinical trials, usually we don't use the generic name in the clinical trials. We don't use the generic name in the clinical trials. What we use is the code name. Okay, code name of the lead. Okay, so we give the name to the lead. We give the name to the final lead, and that starts with the international nomenclatures. Again, international nomenclatures according to the chemistry. Okay, those names are given according to the chemistry. The international names are given according to the chemistry names. Okay, according to their structure, physical structure and chemical structure, right? So you must have heard of very, very, very important drug, LCZ 10469 E something is there. Okay, not the complete name, but LCZ is the starting. Okay, LCZ is the drug starting name for sacubitril. Okay, sacubitril and valsartan combination. Now, sacubitril only, neprilysin inhibitor, right? Neprilysin inhibitor. So here what you will see is, and then Vimada. Okay, let me write it clearly. It is a mess here. Let me write clearly here. Okay, so you will understand it easily. Let me write it clearly. See, there are three names. One is LCZ, 101G1469 E something, and then there is sacubitril. Okay, sacubitril, right? And there is a name called Vimada. Okay, Vimada, right? Vimada. So do you know what's the difference between this? This is the generic name. Sacubitril is generic name. Sacubitril is generic name, and Vimada is commercial name. Commercial name means brand name. And this is the code. This is the code, chemical code, which is given to any entity or hit or the lead which is going for the chemical, which is going for the clinical trials. They can't, they don't, I mean, there is the description of sacubitril also. Sacubitril is also the name once it is APA. Okay, once it is APA. But when they do the clinical trials, if the clinical trials are blinded, they don't give this name. They will just give the code name. Okay, so there are usually three types of name for any drug. Yes, Vimada is given in heart failure. It's a brand name. Absolutely, Vimada is the, and I mean the uh, reversal drug for heart failure. It is a reversal drug, wonderful drug for heart failure, recently launched 5 years back. Okay, 4 5 years back only launched into the market, and now it is showing the wonderful promising results. Okay, sacubitril plus valsartan combination. Vimada is the combination of sacubitril valsartan. So there are three types of name, and those names are very very important to understand. First code name I'll not tell you because that is completely chemistry. Okay, the second name is generic name, which is universal, like everyone has to follow the same name. Non-proprietary, okay, anyone can use this name. Assigned to a drug's active ingredient, it is used globally and ensures standardization, right? Process of generic name, there are assigned international bodies. There are assigned international body. We don't have in India right now, but we all, I mean, all over the world, we follow the names from United States adopted names. Okay, these names are called as USAN names, United States adopted name council is there, which give the names. So United States adopted name council collaborates with WHO's international non-proprietary names, INN, international non-proprietary names program, to finalize the generic name. So USAN and IIN committees, they sit together and they prepare the name. They come up with the names of the active ingredients. Okay, that is called as generic drug. In Europe, the European Pharmacopoeia Commission also sometimes influences the generic name, because European Pharmacopoeia Commission is also there, right? And some drugs in India, they follow the Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission also, British Pharmacopoeia Commission also, US Pharmacopoeia Commission also. We follow all these pharmacopoeias, right? We follow all these pharmacopoeias, and our pharmacopoeia commissions and councils also take part in WHO's IAN and World Health Organization's, this United States Adoption Name Committee. Okay, so this is usually like they process the name based on the drug's active ingredient. Now check how. So usually the generic names component are stems, or having the stems or prefix either, like the components of the name. So it indicates the drug's function or the target system, like statin for cholesterol lowering drug like atorvastatin. Okay, statin here is the what we say, that like GP2Y, GP2Y3 inhibitors are there. So that is the receptor. Again, statin is the receptor, right? So they work on the pathways or the name on the enzyme receptor pathway or protein, anything that must be there. One of them, one of the target must be there in the stem or prefix. So just, the statin, right? Middle component may highlight the molecular or pharmacological properties. Okay. I mean, any of these all are not mandatory to keep in one name, but it should be at least one of these should be in the name. Okay, either middle component, suffix, or stem. Okay, so if it is suffix, then often denotes the drug class, like MAB. Okay, so for suffix like for MAB is monoclonal antibodies. Okay, monoclonal antibodies. Understand that, monoclonal antibodies, and the drug is adalimumab. Adalimumab. So MAB in this is monoclonal antibodies. Did you know that? No. Did you know that adalimumab, if mab and all, those are monoclonal antibodies. Those are monoclonal antibodies. So this is like suffix, and it is showing the component, right? Like penicillin, Celine in penicillin antibiotic. Okay, so they must have something. They must have something in the names. They must have something in the names, right? They must have something in the names, and then based on that only they prepare or they come up with the generic name. So rules of generic names: should not sound or look alike, right? Generic names are never sound alike or look alike drugs. Okay, they have the complete different names. Should not sound or looks like similar to existing drugs to avoid the confusion. Okay, must reflect the pharmacological or chemical relationships. Should be easy to pronounce globally. I mean, it's not true. I mean, some people, in like suppose in Spanish, or if they found the drug and they influence the name, then definitely the name will not be pronounced properly in India or Pakistan or in Asian countries. And if Asian countries put some name or they recommend some names, they that will not be easily pronounced by US or Africa or Europe, right? So there are differences, right? So there are differences. Now it's brand name. So brand name is completely depending on the company. Okay, brand names or commercial names are completely depending on the company. So brand name, also called as proprietary name and trade name, is chosen by the drugs manufacturer or market processing, market purposes, right? So created by the pharmaceutical companies. Companies develop the brand name during drug development and submit it for the approval to regulatory agencies like FDA, EMA, DCGI, right? And then regulatory reviews, once it is evaluated for safety, clarity, potential for confusion with existing names, they usually try to avoid, but still there are a lot of sounds like and looks like drug. I'm going fast because I have only 7-8 minutes, guys, so I have to show you 2-3 more slides, right? Like, agencies ensure the name does not imply unsubstantiated claims, like calling a drug cure all would not be allowed, right? So there are some specific things which are not allowed, okay, which are not allowed, but usually the brand names can be taken care or will be, proposed by the company itself, okay? So there are, some specific things I want to tell you. Key characteristics of brand name: it should be memorable, distinctive, and marketable. So it is completely depending on the company or the manufacturer or marketer to put the name. Okay, often reflects the drug's therapeutic benefit. Like Lyrica suggests the name of, pregabalin, right? Avoid similarities to generic and other brand names to prevent the errors. This is the common thing. Example of brand name: Lipitor, it is brand name for atorvastatin. Atorvastatin is a generic name for drug, statin for lowering cholesterol. Ibuprofen is the generic name, a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, right? Inflammatory drug, NSAIDs. And Advil is the brand name of ibuprofen, which is painkiller, right? So there are the differences. You have to understand what we keep. So generic names purpose is standardization universally, okay, and purpose of brand name is marketing and distinction, assigned by INN or US and WHO, and then it is assigned by pharmaceutical companies. Characteristics: it should reflect the drug class or mechanism, at least generic name, and it should be memorable or marketable if it is brand name, right? And examples, you know, that paracetamol and Tylenol, right? So paracetamol is generic name and brand name is Tylenol, right? That's simple. Now I'll come to the main part, pharmaceutical product cycle. Okay, pharmaceutical product cycle. So this all you know, right? This all you know, that how it goes from the, first thing, drug discovery, then patent filing, patent search, clinical studies, B studies, clinical trials, submission for approval, post-marketing surveillance. This is all done. So once the patent, once the drug is in the market, it has patent. Like for any company which is, giving the drug, which has manufactured the drug for the first time and took the NDA approval, they have the patent. Okay, they have the patent. Now my question to all of you is, and this question is in the exam also: how many years? I have asked you, I think yesterday also, how many years usually the patent is for pharmaceutical product? What is the duration of the patent for pharmaceutical product, guys? Yes. What's the duration for pharmaceutical product patents? Yes, everyone. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Okay, I'll leave it. I will leave it here because this is the question. But, I'll give you a hint for 1 marks here because you will get the 1 mark from this. So the actual duration of the is 20 years. Actual duration of the patent is 20 years by EMA and FDA, and in India also it is 20 years. It is 20 years. Okay, this is 1 mark I'm giving you here. Now you tell me one thing, one very important thing. What is the major difference? I just talked about that. What is the, this is also a question. Major difference between generic drug and brand name. I just taught you brand names. Yes. We just talked about the patent. Oh, okay, okay. We just talked in the last slide. Yes, guys. What is the difference between generic drugs and branded drugs? Brand names. Yes. Anyone? I just taught you. Maybe from there. Generic drugs is universal, branded can be changed. Okay. Generic name has more potency, variation in the cost. Generic is proprietary name. Mm-hmm. Okay. Generic is Sabah, no, generic is non-proprietary, not proprietary. Generic is non-proprietary names. Generic are non-proprietary names and branded are proprietary names. Okay. Generic is universal, branded is specific to manufacturers. One more important thing, guys. One more important, very common difference is, very important difference I have to understand. Patent. There is no patent for generic drugs. There is no patent for generics. Generic drugs are non-patented. Okay, generic drugs are non-patented and branded names are patented. Right. So the life cycle management, if I'm teaching you, that means once after the 20 years patents expires, there is the removal of product from the market. That product will be removed from the market as a brand. Product will be removed from the market as a brand and now it will be available as a generic drug. Okay. Once that is completely done, once the 20 years are over for any drug in the market, the completely it will be removed from the market, and at that point of time it will become the generic drug. It will become the generic drug and it will be removed. So how to manage this? Because companies have already, they have achieved, maybe some companies, they do not achieve the profit and revenue in that cases. Okay, they do not gain the profit what they want and profits and revenues. But how they do, how they manage the life cycle of the drug, because life cycle ends here. Once the patent expires and the product is removed from the market, the life cycle end here, but not how they can manage the life cycle further. Let's reach. Okay, so see, short term 1 to 2 years management, patent can be extended a little bit more. They can build on the brand again for some more time, and then they can literally sell the drugs for 1 more or 2 more years with some more strategies, and they can make the profit. What is happening? Okay, they can make the profits. They can develop the long-term contacts with other companies, so they cannot take the generic names. They can reduce down the process, like prices, sorry, like if the drug name is for 20 years, right? So 18 years they can get whatever they want, whatever the price is decided by the company, it will be charged. But after 18 years or 15 years, they can reduce down by 20% or 30% or 40%, right? Or maybe after 20 years also, if they suddenly reduce down the prices by 50%, then other competitors will not come in the competition. So this is called life cycle management. Lifestyle, I have written, I think wrong it is. Okay, so this is called the life cycle management. Okay, after expiry they can go for patent extension, they can build on the branding equity, and they can file out some pricing strategies, they can reinformance of the value added value to the product. And midterm, like 3 to 5 years, what they can do is they can settle down the generic name with or generic settlement means they can settle the things with other companies, so other companies can take the take the raw product or take the what we say that, then they can like take the raw material or take the generic drug from that company, and they can put their brand with some profit. Okay, they can put their brand with some profit and reduced prices. So that is called generic settlements. Like there are multiple sign MOU signatures between the companies, right? Between the companies, two companies, like, okay, this is my drug, but my drug is going out of the market after 20 years, and I will sign up with 5 or 10 companies which are majorly can come up with the competitive generic drug. So I will sign some MOUs with them, like, okay, you purchase the drug from me, put your name, give me some money. Okay, give me some money, or give me some commission in that selling. So there are multiple types of generic settlements. I'll not go that, but there could be the generic settlements. And diversities, they can start in different countries, they can start in other continents with the new patents. Okay, and then differentiation they can make, reinforcement of added drugs can be done. And then third, like 5 to 10 years, what they can do is very interesting. After 5 to 10 years, what they can do is they can switch to over the counter drug. Okay, they can switch this drug as a generic drug, but OTC. Okay, so OTC can be sold at any price to anyone. Okay, in the market. Then they can reformulate, where very another wonderful idea is they can just make some changes with other indication or the same indication, some other formula changes, and they can reformulate and take the approval for the new drug. For the same drug, they can just change in the structure and properties, and they can launch it as a new drug with new, what we say, with the new patent. Okay, with the new patent, they can reinforced and reformulate, right? They can do that. Then next generation drugs they can make, like from clopidogrel to prasugrel, prasugrel to ticagrelor. What is the change? I told you yesterday, only the binding capacity, only the binding capacity, right? And then they can launch it for new indication after clinical trials, then reinforce the value, some more add, value they can add. So there are multiple things how they can save their drug with them, how they can retain their drug with them. Yes, I'm sharing the link, guys. Okay. Okay, so there are some questions, just questions. No patent for generic drugs and patent for branded drugs. Yes. Sir, can you please tell me about the, I just told you can listen it later. Sir, patent can be extended by change in dosage forms. Uh, yes, it could be. Very recently, Takeda has collaborated with 6 organizations in India for vonoprazan. Yes, definitely. Yes. Okay. So this is all about today's class, guys. Yes, this was the slide I forgot to. So you just one more minute, then I'll share, and then you can come up with the class. Okay. Wait. So these are the companies, guys. Look at these companies. This is called market share. Okay, this is called market share. Market share for all the drugs. So Pfizer has 5.6% of the market share in the pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceutical brand names. Okay, pharmaceutical brand names or patented drugs. Novartis 5.4. Hoffman Roche, Ross 4.69. Merck 4.4. Johnson and Johnson 4.2. So this is the list of the companies which shares the highest, which shares the highest market share in the brand names, or we can say in the in the patents. Okay, so major first is Pfizer, then Novartis, then Ross, then Merck, then Johnson, GlaxoSmithKline, Sanofi, Bayer, Eli Lilly, and all, right? So this is just the today's class. I just wanted to show you guys. Just now let me share the let me share this. And now if you are giving this much time, if you are starting now, then what I'll see is, what I can do is I can give you some extra time. So this is 1933. 1933 means 7:33. So what I'll do is we will close the class. I will be here, you all will be here. I'll just close my camera and all. You can start the class, you can start the test. So this class, this test is open now for all, and this test will be closed completely by the time uh 20:05, means 8:05. I will close this completely. Okay, I will close the link by 8:05. Okay, I'll close the link by 8:05. So guys, best wishes from my side. Attempt the exam. I'm sharing it again, open it and go for it. Guys, best wishes. I'll see you in half an hour. Okay, I'm here.